everybody. It's so good to see you again. I'm Miss Stephanie, and I am here with Friday Family Storytime. And as always, I have some great books to share with you. So let's get started by getting our fingers all warmed up, our hands all warmed up. Let's wave hello. Are you ready? We wave hello like this. We wave hello like this. With all our friends at Storytime, we wave hello like this. Hello! I love to see you on Fridays, and I have some really fun books to share with you. I think that we can start with this book called Cake by Sue Hendra and Paul Lynette. Or Linnet, maybe. There's Cake in his armchair reading a book. Cake had just received an exciting invitation. You are invited to a party, it says. He'd never been to a party before, so he didn't know what to expect, but he was sure about one thing. He wanted to look his best. Do you sometimes get dressed up, look your best? Fish didn't know what Cake should wear. He'd never been to a party either. Said Fish. Nope, I don't think so. What about a hat, suggested Fish. Good thinking, said Cake. So he didn't prefer any of those things, but maybe a hat. So off Cake went to buy a hat. He's going to the hat shop. Cake tried on lots of hats in the shop. Which one do you like? But none of them were quite right. Is it for a special occasion? Asked the shop assistant. A wedding, perhaps? No, said Cake, a party. Oh, said the shop assistant, in that case I have just the thing. And he disappeared out the back. Here you go, sir, said the shop assistant. You'll be irresistible in this. Thank you very much, said Cake. He couldn't wait to get home and show Fish his new hat. Are you ready? Cake called from the bathroom. Ta-da! Look at his hat. It's icing and candles. You've done it, shouted Fish. Cake was soon on his way to the party, dressed in his new hat. Deedly-dee, deedly-dum, I'm off to a party to have some fun. That's a pretty good song. Cake was a bit nervous when he arrived. But when everyone saw him, they cheered, Cake's here! A party isn't a party without cake, they said. And in he went. Cake was having so much fun at the party. There was dancing and lots of games, but then the singing started. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Cake was getting a bad feeling about this. Oh, crumbs! Suddenly there was a gust of wind, and everything went black. Then there was a smell of raspberries, and Cake felt a wibbly-wobbly hand grab hold of his, and a wibbly-wobbly voice said... Somebody grabbed his hand, and the wibbly voice said, Quick! Run for it, Cake! All of the snacks are getting away. And look, there they are. Safe back at Cake's house. Cake. That's funny. All the friends got away. Well, I really like that story. I have another one about food. It's called The Bread Pet. It's about sourdough, a sourdough story by Kate De Palma, and it's illustrated by Nelke Verhef. A sourdough story. Bread. It's about bread. It seemed like I'd been waiting forever for my uncle to visit again. Mom, Mama, I shouted, look! They waved to JB's rusty camper as it stopped. I ran to greet him. Hey, Butterbean, he said, thought I'd stop in on my way out west. Could you look after something for me while I'm gone? Of course, I said. You know I love your goldfish. Oh, not just Poquito, he replied. Cora, meet my bread pet, said JB. It's sourdough, with bacteria and fungi growing inside it. Gross! I backed away. Gross and awesome, exclaimed JB. Bacteria and fungi are alive. They eat the dough and change it. The fungi make it rise up light and fluffy. The bacteria give it a nice sour taste. I took a closer look at the goo. So it's really alive? JB showed me how to stir water and flour into the bread pet to feed it. It's called a starter because you can use it to start a new loaf of sourdough bread, he explained. Until you're ready to bake, keep feeding it. It gets hungry twice a day. JB gave me a note with instructions, then frowned. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting to tell you, he said. I shrugged. Seems pretty easy. Feeding the bread pet turned out to be a lot of work. I had to measure the sticky bread pet and the flour and the water, making sure I had the amounts right and trying not to make a mess. The first day, I tried to give the job to someone else. Mom said, "No way." Mama just laughed. None of us know how soon things would get out of control. It only took a couple of days for the bread pet to outgrow the biggest mixing bowl in the house. Mom suggested we move it to a bucket. Mama split it into 2 containers, and then 4, and then 8. We had flour in our hair and bread pets oozing all over the kitchen. Oh dear. It did get a little bit out of control. How did the bread pet grow so quickly? If one bowl turns into 2 bowls, then I started drawing. I couldn't even write the next line without running off the page. I tried to imagine what the kitchen was going to look like in a few days. I gulped. Why does JB even keep this stupid bread pet? I grumbled to myself. Mom stuck her head in the doorway. He keeps it so he can bake bread, silly. Didn't you see the recipe on the back? She waved JB's crumpled note at me. Do you think JB would mind if we baked some? I asked. No, Mom said, laughing. I think he'd like that. So that's what we did. The first loaf was a little flat, but Mom said we'd get better at it with time. Baking some of the bread pet didn't solve our problem. It was growing faster than we could bake. I'm sick of all this mess, said Mama after a few days. I'm sick of all this bread, I replied. You know, said Mom, we might be sick of this bread, but there are a lot of people who would be thankful to have something like this to eat. And that gave me an idea. I asked Mom if she'd help me bake one more loaf to share. It turned out perfectly, golden and puffy with a heavenly smell. We sliced it carefully and wrapped it up before we walked together to the community hall. The smell followed us up the road. Our community hall was a busy swirl of people and sounds and food. The director, Toya, thanked us for our donation, and I watched my bread move through the room. It was passed around tables of people, and just like that, it had gone. Are you okay, sweetie? Toya asked. I poked around in my brain for the right words. I didn't think it would be gone so fast. When we got home, I went straight into the kitchen. There were even more bowls of oozy goo than I remembered. Ah, Poquito, I'm the only one person. I can't bake all this bread myself. Poquito opened and closed his little circle mouth, and the bread pet just bubbled. All of the bread pets just bubbled, and that gave me another idea. Make a fish face. I thought of something else we can try, I said. It took Mama, Mom, and me all working together to load my wagon up with our gooey jars and containers. They rattled all the way to the community hall. Toya looked a little surprised to see us. Cora, she said, you're back. Free sourdough starter and baking class. Bring a clean container for your bread pet, the sign says. The next day, the cafeteria at the community hall was full. Toya and I taught everyone about bread pets and how to care for them, and of course, how to bake the bread. Toya even knew some things I didn't like, that bread pets grow much more slowly if you keep them in the fridge. Wish we'd known that sooner. Toya asked if anyone had a question for us. At the back of the class, someone raised their hand. You see, I can guess who that is. Can you guess? Oh, the page is stuck. There we go. Hey, Butterbean, said a familiar voice. Did I forget to tell you to put it in the fridge? Yeah. And then at the end, it tells you how to make your own bread pet and how to bake the bread. Pretty cool. And then some more information about your bread pet and sourdough. And I thought that was really cool. And it might be fun to do that and bake some bread. All right. I have another story called Odd Dog Out. And that's by Rob Biddle. Look at that dog face. That's pretty cute. I love the illustrations. For busy dogs, a busy day of busy work and busy play. Swimmer, sailor, soldier, scout, they all blend in, no dog stands out. But wait, look closer, can you see one dog behaving differently? Someone on this busy street is dancing to a different beat. When they fly high, this dog flies low. This dog, when they say kick, this dog says throw. It's very sad, cue violin, but this small dog does not fit in. It's true, she sniffs. I've tried my best, but I'm not made like all the rest, and that's why I've made up my mind to leave this town, my home, behind. On her way, on her own and out of place, she sighs a sigh and packs her case. Oh dear. Through winter, springtime, summer, fall. From ocean deep to mountain tall. She walks till she can walk no more. Is this the place she's looking for? It says welcome to fabulous Doggywood. Well, bless my bow wow, can it be 100 others just like me? I play guitar, I ride a bike, I fit right in, we're all alike. But wait, look closer, can you see one dog behaving differently? Somebody this afternoon is whistling a different tune. Here's something she knows all about, a classic case of Odd Dog Out. Poor thing, she says, I feel for you. I once was an outsider too. Oh, not at all, you've got it wrong. I really feel like I belong. I love to stand out from the crowd, and so should you. Stand tall. Be proud. She tilts her head, she pricks her ear, and suddenly it's crystal clear that dog is right. It's plain to see. There's nothing wrong with being me. Her little tail begins to wag. She smiles a smile and grabs her bag. I'm sorry, but I have to fly. Good luck, my friend. They wave goodbye. From night and moon to light and sun, her journey home has just begun. For busy dogs, a busy day. But look who's back. Hip, hip, hooray! They cheer, they clap, they whoop, they shout. We've really missed our Odd Dog Out. You've made us all appreciate that being different's really great. It's true, look closer, can you see more dogs behaving differently? Look, they're not all wearing suits anymore. Each one a doggy superstar. So blaze a trail, be who you are. And that's the end. Well, I liked that book. And I have one more for you called Speak Up, Molly Lou Mellon, written by Patty Lovell and illustrated by David Catrow. Molly Lou Mellon, there she is, was a tiny little girl with a big, deep down heart. Her mom always told her, be true to yourself. So she was. Molly Lou Mellon tried to do the right things in her life. It didn't always work. Her mom always told her, take responsibility for the things that you do, good or bad. So, she did. Molly Lou Mellon had friends of all shapes, sizes, opinions, and ideas. Her mom always told her, accept people for who they are, listen to their ideas, even if they're different from yours. So, she did. Molly Lou Mellon had a loud voice, and she chatted, jabbered, and gabbered all the time with her friends. Her mom always told her, you have a strong voice. Use it to speak up for anyone who might need your help. So, she did. In the fall, Molly Lou Mellon started school again with a big yellow backpack and a huge toothy smile for all her friends. She sat with Ronald Durkin and Gertie in the front row of her classroom. Bettina Bonklehead snickered at them and cooed, Molly Lou and Ronald, kissy kissy boyfriend girlfriend. Molly Lou Mellon stood up and told her, we are friends. Then she exchanged special handshakes with Gertie and Ronald. Woodle woodle dink dink cha cha waddle doo. In the winter, Molly Lou Mellon had to be project partners with Bettina Bonklehead. They accidentally painted all over the desks and not on their papers. It was a little fun. When the teacher asked who did it, Molly Lou Mellon said, me, and had to spend recess cleaning the desks. Bettina said nothing and played a great game of pirate outside. Molly Lou Mellon was mad at first, but then she played her own thrilling game of swabbing the decks. Well, desks. In the spring, a new boy named Garvin Grape started school. He was small, he wore glasses, and his ears stuck out. He told the class all about Newton's law of gravity in a long speech at the front of the room. Bettina Bonklehead rolled her eyes, sneered at Garvin, and said, big deal, really loudly. Garvin's cheeks turned bright red, and he hung his head. Molly Lou Mellon raised her hand and said, yes, gravity is a big deal. Then she scribbled a little note and handed it to Garvin. It read, welcome to our school. Nice speech. Join us on the playground at recess. We can test out some gravity. It's hard to read. Woodle woodle, dink dink, cha cha, waddle doo. That's their secret handshake. On the first day of summer, Bettina Bonklehead showed up at camp and promptly stuck her foot out, tripping Garvin Grape. He crashed to the ground, and his glasses went flying. Bettina grinned and chirped, smarty pants, looks like gravity gotcha. Molly Lou Mellon caught Garvin's glasses in midair, went nose to nose with Bettina, and said, you must never do anything like that again to my friend. Friends stand up for one another. Ronald stepped forward, and so did Gertie, waving her crutch. They pulled Garvin Grape up, linked arms, and the four friends together shouted, woodle woodle, dink dink, cha cha, waddle doo. If you want to be a friend, it's all up to you. And it looks like maybe she decided to be a friend. And that's the end, friends. I'll see you next week on Friday. Bye.